They're going in the oven now on 150 degrees centigrade electric fan oven, and they'll be in for about 12 to 15 minutes. I'll show you them when they come out. I'm going to make some buttercream now, guys. When people ask me for my recipe for buttercream and how I make it, I can't always explain. I do different things for different cakes. If I'm building up a birthday cake that needs to be very stable and make a very stable buttercream, then I'll use, say for instance, the ratio 500 grams of unsalted and salted mixed, 250 of each, and then I'll use a kilo of icing sugar because it needs to be really stable. I don't want buttercream that's splurting out, that's a bit not as stable. But when I'm making it for cupcakes, which I'm going to swirl, I like to make it a bit softer and a bit creamier, so I don't use as much icing sugar, and that's where people get confused with me. So because I'm making it for cupcakes and a cake, but it's not a cake that needs the build up of the stable buttercream, so I'm going to make it how I make it for cupcakes. So in this instance, I'm using what I've got. That needs to be softened a bit. So here I've got 250 grams of unsalted, and I just like to put a little bit of salted butter in sometimes. 160 grams. This is going to be enough because I've already got some buttercream ready made that I made yesterday. So what I'll do is I put this in, I beat it for about 10 minutes till it's fluffy, gone a bit creamier, a bit whiter. Then I start adding icing sugar, and I'll just gauge it as I'm putting the icing sugar in. And then I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of either milk or condensed milk to make it a nice creamy texture. This needs to be a bit softer. So I'm just going to pop it in the microwave for about 5 to 10 seconds. The cupcakes have been in for 12 minutes. I've checked them and I've left them in for another 5 minutes. They needed a bit longer. Right, so I've got 160 grams of salted and 250 grams of unsalted. I can't use my whisk attachment because it's broke, so I'm using my paddle. You want to beat that now for about 10 minutes until it's nice and fluffy, gone a little bit whiter. Just leave it beating. Oh guys, I'm having a shit day today. Not because I feel ill. I think it's because I'm coming up to my dad's anniversary this weekend. A year since we lost this wonderful man. I thought we're doing alright. It just comes over you. Grief is weird. You feel alright 1 minute, next minute you're in floods of tears. Horrible. Mum had a bad day yesterday. Mum could be having a good day today. It just hits us all at different times. Different things we're doing. For Mum it was because we were in the club on Friday night for Maxie's do, and the last time she was in a club she was with my dad and they used to go to a club. And for me it's music really. Songs. They get me every time. Oh, I'm sorry. My dad would shout at me, but he were a big softie. He would have given me a big hug and all. They're done, guys. There's the lemon cakes. Now I've got some lemon syrup here that I made the other day. It's been in the fridge. I've warmed it up in microwave to melt it, and I'm going to brush the tops of the cakes with the lemon syrup. You just make this with lemon juice and water. I will add it to a playlist. I'm going to put lemon cupcakes on a playlist, so I'll add the syrup recipe to it as well. But there is a syrup. I have done the syrup recipe last week, but one I think, for the tray bake lemon cake. It's just sugar and lemon juice of one big lemon, 100 grams or 150 grams depending on how much syrup you want of sugar, granulated, caster sugar, whichever. Bring it to boiling point, let it simmer, turn it down, let it simmer until all your sugar's dissolved. And how I do that is I pinch some between my finger and my thumb, and if there's no grit, if the sugar's all melted, it won't be gritty between your finger and your thumb. So that's how you know your sugar's melted. But be careful because it's very hot. Get a teaspoon of it out of the pan, leave it cool a little bit, and then do that. And it's brilliant, this lemon sugar. It's it really adds, this lemon syrup, it really adds a nice lemony tang to your cakes. Right, I'm going to leave them now. Finish off my buttercream in a bit. Let them cool down. Hiya guys, I've been to my mum's and I'm back now. I've been beating my butter up, as you know. That's going to do now. I don't want it pure white like I'm doing a birthday cake or whatever. I just want it nice and soft and fluffy, which it is. Don't forget, I've got 250 grams of unsalted butter and 160 grams of salted butter in there. I'm going to add 500 grams of icing sugar now. I want this buttercream to be nice and fluffy. It doesn't need to be really stable because I'm not making a big cake that depends on it to stay stable and in place. I want it to be nice and fluffy for my cupcakes. So 500 grams in there. Just see how that is when it's whisked together. Well, beaten. And I've got some lovely, I don't know where I got this from, Create a Cake Sicilian lemon extract. I'm going to use that in my buttercream because it's delicious. Always use extract and not flavouring because extract is nicer. You might pay a bit more for it, but that lemon extract is nice. You can get it anywhere. Coming together nicely.